Okay, welcome everybody, and let's get started. Yep, this is Bruce at Bookmap. We'll go through all the markets here, looking at the order flow analysis. This is forward-looking analysis using Bookmap, and why would we do such a thing? It's because you can do that with order flow. When you start to understand the participants in and their behavior in the auction process, you can start to understand where price might go next. Much cleaner and clearer than you can by looking at just candlesticks and indicator, because it doesn't hold that information. It's an indicator. It's based off of some mathematical uh, uh, composition or a derivative of time, price, and volume. And you can't see the real volume. You can't see exactly what's going on. So it's just kind of more opaque, and that doesn't allow for better market trading decisions. If you are looking at order flow based charts, then you will be able to make those better decisions. All right, general disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. We have a lot of news. I've continued to go over our beta programs. If you're interested, beta@bookmap.com, email us. You can get access to the new multi-account add-on. I will demo it for you in this webinar, and we'll take some trades with it as well. We have a new Market Pulse multi-algo. This is not just multi-instrument, it's multi-algo. So another layer of complexity that's rather interesting to be able to add in multiple algos into one. And we have you probably saw this today. Actually, this is not in beta anymore. In fact, I can demo this one to you guys as well. We have RSI, MACD, ADX, on balance volume, and Williams percentage range indicators. These are kind of more legacy indicators, very typical for years and years. So we have them now in Bookmap. And then the Market Pulse web tool, you guys should use this here, because you get free stock data. You can look at your bellwether stocks, your Mag 7 stocks, and can start to understand where price might be going based off of correlations. This is free. Okay, so it's just email us at beta@bookmap.com and tell us what you're interested in. And right now, until November 30th, the Market Pulse Pace of Tape is also free. The Bookmap Academy meeting, you might want to come into our Discord channel and join the Bookmap Academy. It's free for everybody. You will need to have Bookmap, else you're not going to get much from it. But what you get is coaching and mentoring. And we have Thursday market meeting, and we'll go over your content. That's the goal. Open the mic for you. We want to hear why you took a trade, and then how can we help you. All right, so if you're interested in that, go to bookmap.com, okay, and then go to the more button here, and then under community, Bookmap Academy here, right? And then you can read about it. You can sign up here as well. Okay, all right, it brings up a whole nother slew of things. 3 days left to go for our Black Friday offer and reveal. So I've got a link for you guys. Let me put it into the chat for you, just a minute. And then here's the web page here, and you can sign up for email alerts. So this will go to this page here. And you can see all the different deals that we're going to offer here, and they will unfold over time, as you can see. In 2 days and 7 hours, or basically 8 hours, our Black Friday deal will be presented here. And then in 5 days, you can see our Cyber Monday deal. We have an add-ons deal in 13 days, and then in about a month we have our New Year's special as well. So all sorts of great deals on here. And let me put the link into the chat for you guys so that you can go check them out. Hold on just a minute. I believe this is it. Yeah. Okay. There you go. And good morning, Hector, Stephen, and Alois. Yeah, here's our Black Friday link here. There you go. All right, so go check it out. And that's it. That's what I've got for you guys. All right, so all right, let's jump into these markets and see what's going on. We just had some data, as you can see here, at 10 a.m. East Coast time, and that was consumer confidence, and it looks like it was kind of in line here. So not much going on there. We also had some housing data, less than expected. And later today we have FOMC meeting minutes. Okay, so expect that's in about 4 hours. So expect some volatility at that time as well. And what's going on here? What's happening with these markets? Let's zoom out. Let's take a bigger picture approach here, and then we'll dig into Bookmap and look for some opportunities in here. All right, so our bigger picture. Let's look at our candlesticks. Our daily on the left, hourly in the middle, and here on the right we have our 15-minute. Okay, and let me put in the regular trading hours. Okay, you can see that yesterday we came up and retested these highs up here. Did not go to all-time highs, but you can see it kind of retested and then it kind of failed. It was a big gap up, but that gap filled here, as you can see. And then we have a gap up over the overnight as well, which is looking like it's just about to fill as well here. Yeah, we're gapping up, but coming back and filling these gaps, as you can see here. So it retraced all the way back down, as you can see on the 15-minute chart. So what's going on in here? Well, obviously a lot of geopolitical stuff, the election, and then the one thing that I want to cover here is to take a look at this here, the dollar. Oh, I have it. Hold on a minute. And we're going to look at the euro dollar. And I've got free data here from investing.com, but we're going to look at Bookmap too. So this is a daily chart here. Well, you know, look at due to some of the tariffs that are likely to be a policy of President-elect Trump, the market has not responded too well to those. So the dollar has gained strength. This makes complete sense. You know, that's why we see this kind of struggling stock market here in the ES. We see these moves up, but they're pulling back pretty hard, and you can see on the hourly, well, even on the daily over here, after that move up, this pull back, and then pretty strong move on the way down, and then it's not so strong on the way back up here. Okay, but it is still back up here. All right, so you know, we still bullish in here. This was after or just before, and then after the election, we see very strong move to the upside and all-time highs here in the S&P. There's a lot of things going on, and the market is being pushed and pulled here, and trying to figure out direction. What I wanted to just cover here was how important it is to understand the dollar and the dollar index. So I have euro dollar up here, the 6E. futures, and we can look at a correlated market in here. When this moves up, the stock market should be going up. Typically, that is the correlation that the euro. What we're looking at here is the euro first, and then the dollar second. So that means that if this goes up, the euro goes up, or the dollar goes down, or both. All right. So that's we see strength in here in euro dollar. We should see strength in the stock market typically. All right. So if we see weakness in here, well, we're going to take a look at the S&P and maybe the NASDAQ as well. All right. I've also got the Trader Map Pro here. You will have to use Trader Map Pro on the 6E. The Trader Map Lite free version only works on the NQ, the Russell, and the ES. Okay. But you can see that it is highly algorithmically traded or hedged, as you can see here. These every point here or every 4 ticks, you see the very large liquidity. Okay, so these are larger players in here, and it's almost always like this in here. It's pretty typical. All right, so that's just the condition of the market. All right, let's jump back to that S&P and see what's going on here. All right. Okay, well, after the data, boy, not much information there. Just down to high liquidity down here on the bid, up to high liquidity here on the offer, a little bit further, and then it's been right within all of that price action since the consumer confidence and housing data. All right, so let's see if there's any questions. No. Okay. How about YouTube? Any questions over there? Hold on just a minute. Oh, thanks, Stephen. Yep. Got some links in there, etc. Great. All right, guys. Well, let's take a look here. And we're trading down to this little bottom edge right here, right now. And we've been trending down, as you can see here. So what are we looking for? Well, this high liquidity here to transact at 60.13. And then let's see if we can get a little bit more selling, aggressive selling, red dots here. And I don't know if it's going to happen or not. This is a harder read in here because we have high liquidity here and just underneath, and we're kind of range bound in here between that that data in here. So not really looking for it to break that 60.13. However, we may get a retracement back up and then maybe another move back down into this 60.10 liquidity here. Okay, so let's see if we get that. All right, well, as you can see, I mean, we're stuck in a big range here, and well, for at least after that data, and you know, it's kind of it's definitely trending down. So we can also look at our volume profiles in here, and you can see how thinly traded things were earlier. So what does that mean in here? Okay, well, this means value area. So we really look for a heavy selling in here for this to break it and continue on down. And we do see selling, okay? And there is more sellers. Look at the bars down here than there are buyers. Okay, so but we have high liquidity here at 60.12. And yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to trade into this 60.10 here. However, I just don't think it's worth it. This is there's too much liquidity here, and we've been bouncing back and forth in here, right? So we do see the selling, I do look for this 60-10 liquidity and maybe even lower to transact here. Okay, but nothing really good enough here for a setup. All right. So, and how can we go about that and kind of back test this really quickly and develop some sort of understanding or edge based off of this price action and order flow? Well, let's take a look in here. All right. So, and we can kind of go backwards in time and just it's a really simple idea that we covered in the Pro Trader webinar series last week that I hope you guys found really insightful, as well as it was actually more in the Bookmap Academy meeting. We covered it at the end, more about how you develop an edge. If you're not trading with an edge, you should not be trading. Okay, so you have to know you have an edge, else you're gambling. All right, so simple ways to understand how to build that edge and how to trade with Bookmap. All right, well, let's take a look at a range and liquidity. Right, we're trading into this high liquidity, and we see these bounces. All right, we see some heavy selling too, but we're still getting these bounces. That's why we stayed away from this trade, even though there's more selling in here. We're down here 1, 2, 3, 4 times. I'm looking for it to break, but it didn't. Okay, it traded into that high liquidity here at 12, and then it is bouncing back up. All right, so therefore, like we made the right decision. We read the order flow in here, and we stayed away from it. Okay, because we're looking for more of a momentum move in here, and a move down. But nope. We're seeing this back and forth kind of activity unfold. Now, why I was looking for this move down was we're trending. I see more sellers than buyers. And now look at the condition of the trend here as well. It's not really a harsh angle here. In fact, that trend line is based off of the range from the fundamental data, but here's a better kind of range bound trend line here. Okay, so in fact, let's just duplicate it and we'll make it into a channel. Okay, and so basically it came back down to the bottom of this channel here, and that liquidity there, and we see the bounce back up. All right, we did have the selling in here. Okay, that's part of the checklist. For this to break the range here. Okay, so we did have that, but we just didn't have that commitment. We want to see this liquidity pull. We want to see maybe more on the offer if it's really going to move. Okay, that would give us much better insight. So instead, we're just going to wait for a better setup. Okay, so you can see even in your volume profile, starting to kind of build this section out maybe a little bit right now. Okay, so this maybe turns into a bigger single distribution up here. All right, any questions? Let's see. Nope. Okay, great. All right, well, how about the current order book? Well, now look at them on the offer in this area in here. Okay, we're smack dab in the middle here. We're not at the edges, but if we start to see maybe some selling, red dots in here, okay, we're looking for that momentum again down into 12. Now I know that's only 3 points, but let's just go for it. In fact, so and we're just looking for a move down to this this 12, and let's see what unfolds here. If these guys start to pull, okay, they are. All right, so I'm going to move my stops down then. Or what I actually should do is should probably put an OCO in here. Maybe we can take off a partial here and this down as well. Okay, and then I'm going to use this here for the other two. Okay, put it here as well. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay, so we're filled on our first leg here, just at the bottom of this range in this liquidity here. But we're looking for it to follow through to the downside, okay, this time, because this is another time we're down here. And you can see the red dots building here, more volume, right? So I'm looking for it to trade down into 10. Okay, and you can see it's kind of struggling here, but the sellers are here. Okay, and we're looking for, makes sense here. We have a channel in our price structure, and we have a move back down into 10, and the high liquidity is down here. I'm going to move my stop to break even, and we're just going to let this one ride out. Okay, any questions on this? Okay, using Bookmap, understanding liquidity, understanding this context between the aggressive volume here, the market buy and sell orders. Okay, the red dots are market sell orders, the green dots are market buy orders, and the liquidity, the passive orders, the limit buy orders down here, or the limit sell orders up here. Okay, and we're understanding that within a context here of a price channel. Okay, and see how it's just even with our high volume in here, is still kind of struggling. The sellers aren't in true command of this market here. Okay, buyers coming back in. Okay, so looks like we're going to get stopped out at break even here. Guys over in Discord, no questions on this? Just trying to keep things really simple in here and understand this context. There we go. So, we can just see there's a little pop there in some buy volume, and it took us out at break even. Okay, so we made, I don't know, about 3 points or a few points here on 3 contracts, and then 2 contracts stopped out right here at break even. Okay, and now we avoid this here. Okay, we don't know this is going to happen. Look at all the buy volume all of a sudden coming in, okay, and lifting this market here. Now this is probably going to be a stop run. Okay, and we're looking for these sellers in here are buyers up in here. Okay, like us, we got stopped out here. Okay, but we have other people getting stopped out up in these areas up in here. All right, so let's see if we can get up a little bit further. In fact, on this little bit of momentum here on the buy side, and we can get back up into maybe back up to about 60-20 or so. High liquidity up there. They're pulling here around 18. Yep, there we go. And I've got to put the stops and icebergs on here. Hold on just a minute here. Oh yeah, I want to show you guys some candlesticks as well. the we'll leave them on now. Oh yeah, do you guys want to see the new MACD or ADX or the RSI or on volume, on balance volume? Go over some of these things. There's a whole host of new things, Market Pulse as well, to go over, and how to use some of these tools. But we're just going to look at stops and icebergs on chart and to show them. Once we show them here, they should be shown over here, and they are. Okay, great. Okay, so here's our stop run of 138 to the upside. This is what we were assuming here. Okay, up into that 60-20. Okay, and more buyers now. Okay, a little bit of a stop run, 55, 64 contracts right there, you can see. So let's see if we can get a little bit higher up into this 2150. And also let's take a step back and look at our bigger picture context. First off, we're breaking this channel, this downtrending channel. Okay, how are we breaking it? We're breaking it on buy volume. Okay, this is what's required for the market to go higher. Okay, now there's something that we know about some of this buy volume though. They are stops. So that kind of negates some of it. You know, these are just people exiting. It's not real buying in that sense. Yes, it is real buying, but they're not buying to enter. And there's a distinction there. All right. So anyway, that's what I see so far. And let's get rid of this. I think we can get rid of this channel. And yeah, let's explore some of these other tools here as I go through with you. Okay. And oh yeah, I wanted to go through the bigger picture here. Okay, did we fill the gap down here? Yeah, we did. It looks like it to me. This is what I don't understand though. Here I've got the hourly up here, and it does not look like we filled it. At the 15-minute chart, it filled it. Jazz, let's see here. New here. Well, welcome. You've been watching some of the recordings on YouTube. Okay, excellent. The Market Pulse widget is very interesting. Do you have any preferred settings, combinations that you like scalp with S and Q? Yeah, actually, you know what, Jazz? We have a resident expert on that one, and that is Crash F16. He's in the Bookmap Academy. You might want to reach out to him directly. He trades the NQ and uses volume pressure imbalance, but you can use multiple in here. They all give very good signals. The pace of tape imbalance also gives a good signal. Also, the order book imbalance gives a very good signal. Okay, Hector, this is something that you had asked about, was the order book imbalance. Yeah, I see you there. Okay. Understanding that, and this is such a good tool. Here's one of the big advantages of using the Market Pulse tool. Let me show you this. This is what I just love about it here. If we go down to the Market Pulse, and we've got to select the right market here. Light. Okay. Pace of tape, and I'm going to do pace of tape imbalance here. Okay, that looks good, right? And we'll go through the settings as well here. Let me just open up the settings. I just use the default settings, and I start there, Jazz, and then I will then come back in. I'll check it out in the subchart here. This is another way to backtest. A really, really powerful way to backtest. I'll show it to you here. All right, so I use 5 minutes and the half-life of 10 seconds. Okay, that's it. All right, let's press play. And what this is showing here is the imbalance of the pace of the tape, the speed of the tape. Okay, buyers versus sellers going through. All right. So, and if it goes across these little white lines in here, that's the 70% threshold. So it's taking 5 minutes. And let me show you why I think this is better than time and sales. And I very sincerely mean it. Even if we do a filtering here of like, I don't know, 5 or 10 for the S&P, okay? Maybe 5 is better. And we start to see these orders flow through here. And you get a feel for the tape and the pace of tape. Like, okay, there's some selling, right? Some selling, or there's a little bit of buying, all right? And then look at the price action in here. Well, what we can do with the pace of tape that, or market pulse, any of the market pulse widgets that you cannot see over here is this widget is taking the last 5 minutes of data. Okay, and then making that comparison. So when it crosses these thresholds here, it means the last 5 minutes of data are out of whack. Okay, there's more buying or selling pressure coming through that's in the speed or the pace of tape here. Right, that you cannot see in here in your time and sales. Even if you had 5 minutes of data in here, you will not be able to see it. Okay, so this is filtering it for it in a nice little widget for yourself. Okay? And again, you can filter it yourself. Right-click in it, open it up, and you can put in 3 minutes or whatever. Now, I'm going to keep it at 5 minutes for now, and I want to show you in the subchart how to use this. This is my favorite part of it, to be honest, is looking at where. See the green ends here or the red ends down here. Okay, the color is brighter. This is where it crossed the 70% threshold over time. Okay, so we can zoom back out and we can look at, did we get good signals in some of these areas? This is how you can start to very, very quickly backtest and just look at the data here in front of you and say, is this something that I can find helpful? So very simple example. All right, so we hit an extreme up here. That was the stop run. That was that pace of tape up here. That was the stop run. Where did it trade into? High liquidity in these areas in here and above the swing here. And we tried to get back up higher again, and there's no more buyers, or not many. Right, so this move in here is much more about the stop run and up into high liquidity and pace of tape. So here you have your confluence. This is how you can go and backtest it. Here's another one right here. Traded into our 12 area here. This was before our trade, and then we see a little bit of a bounce out of that area here. Okay, not bad. But we have high liquidity. We have the low from after the data point here, and we have our pace of tape imbalance picking up just underneath here. You can see that this doesn't happen very often. Okay, so this is pretty good reading for me right now. Standard filter is best solution for ES. I don't know. I haven't really played around with. Yeah, I've done 3 minutes, 10 minutes, half hour. Some of these settings, but all I do is like I come back in here and run it through this little challenge here. Did we get a good reading at some of these areas? If so, then I'm looking for that. But first things first, I'm looking at this secondly. I'm looking at the order flow. I want to see this context between the price structure. Okay, we had that price channel earlier, right? And then we broke it. but we traded into high liquidity, and we know that there was a stop run. Okay, so that's our little checklist in here. Okay, so now we add to that checklist, we also had the pace of tape imbalance into some of these areas here, right? So now you can develop a trading strategy from those 3 or 4 elements right there, and you can develop an edge. It's as simple as that. Okay, so if we do that, let's trade it now. All right, so do we get an extreme reading up into this liquidity here? No, we didn't, right? All right, so maybe we pause on that one. We need to see an extreme reading and high liquidity. Yeah, the price change one is good, Hector. Hector, reach out to beta@bookmap.com. You'll get this for free. You know, until the end of the month. Hector, another one like what you're saying in here. Some recommendations for those extremes. Oh, you're welcome, Jazz. Yeah. All right. So here we got an example. You can probably hear it. See how we're trading across it right now. All right. Let's just take a shot at this. Okay. I've got 2 contracts here lined up, and we're trading into high liquidity. Okay. I'm just going to short it. Whoops. Right here. All right. So now, is this is just a demo? Okay. Please, this is not a trade following room whatsoever. Okay, but this is what we're going through here, and you have to do the due diligence and the back testing here. Okay, extreme reading, stop run, high liquidity, up at the top of the range here. All right, now, so we took a shot at it. Okay, and due to that, and you can even see another extreme reading here, right? And we're just about to get stopped out. But another extreme reading here, but didn't go quite as high, right? So let's see if it exhausts out here, and then maybe we get our sellers coming back in. Okay. Now I would not take it like this. You know, I'm just demoing this. I want to see sellers start to come back in before I would get in. This is momentum in here, and we don't want to trade against it. But I just wanted to demo what, you know, this is a way of looking at a more kind of mechanical way of trading. Okay. So you can see that you know, there was more buying in here than there was limit sell orders. That's why order flow rules here. Nothing is mechanical like this. The markets just don't work like that. If there's more aggressive buyers than there are limit sell orders, we're going to go higher. Okay. All right. So now you can see we did kind of exhaust out. It came 1 tick away from getting stopped out. 1 tick away, and we still may. Right? We don't know. And we just had our market pulse pace of tape pick up to the downside, but now it's just kind of bouncing. Okay, so it brought us back down to break even, just about. Okay, so let's go back and take a look here. You know, this is what it did before. Now this is much higher liquidity up here, much higher, right? And there's a big block of it, and it definitely traded into, and then this was pulled in here. And now we're gonna get stopped out on this one. Anyway, that's fine. You know, we demoed what we wanted to demo here, we'll try it again, but we just based this off of very simply, you know, 2 or 3 different examples in here. That was it, right? That's not enough, right? We need to really dig in deep and go through more examples of it. Now that should have gotten filled. Why? That's weird. Okay, I should have been stopped out there. Okay, I'm gonna quit this one, right? I'm gonna flatten it. This demo in here, I'll show this to one of our developers. We shouldn't have had that. We should have gotten stopped out there. And we're in our dev environment here. I'm gonna instead though, I'm gonna trade into my Rhythmic account here. Okay, this is Bookmap data, and this Trader Map Lite is based off of the Bookmap data. Okay, however, I'm going to route my trades to my Rhythmic paper trading account here. Okay, and it says like okay, start it. We've activated cross trading. Okay, yep. All right, there we go. Okay, and we'll select it and we'll pin it, and we will trade it. Okay. All right, so let me show you this as well, what I'm doing in here, and then we'll get back into the pace of tape. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm trading off of the Bookmap data, okay, and the Trader Map Lite version of it, because there's an algo in here that this bot in here that kind of messes up our heat map. So we filtered it out. Okay, so got that, and now I'm going to trade off of this Trader Map Lite Bookmap data, but route it into my ES and my multi-account add-on. So this is what I want to show. So the multi-account trading here, and in fact I don't have it selected. Okay, so I'm going to select it, and then it pops up here. Let's put Market Pulse up here, and you can see I don't have any open positions, or you can see some executions in here, but no open positions, no working orders. All right, so that's good. All right, now I've got all sorts of different bots in here that I created, and each bot in here does something different. So here, this one I named as 1 lot, 2 lot, and 4 lot. Let's open it up. I have 3 accounts in here. Primary account, the 60.1. Now this is Rhythmic paper trading again. 60.1 is my secondary account, and then my tertiary here is 60.2. Look at the multiplier. So 1 lot is going into 60. I'm trading it right here. Okay, that's the one I'm trading into. 2 lots are going into my 60.1, and 4 lots are going to go into my 60.2. Okay, there we go. All right, so now let's take a look here, and let's see if we can find an opportunity, and we'll trade this one. Okay, so now here we just traded into high liquidity. Okay, we have a stop run. We have that high liquidity, and we also had the Market Pulse pace of tape imbalance. All right, so let's look for, what are we going to look for here? We do have a checklist here, okay, and we also have another confluence there. So let's just jump in now, because I'm starting to see those buyers come in. Okay, and I'm looking for some buying momentum here. Now I don't know if this is a pullback back up into this area here, but I'm just going off of these elements in here. Again, this is not a trading strategy yet. Okay, these are just a checklist here that could develop into a trading strategy. All right. All right, so my stop's down here. In fact, I'm going to move it, and I'm just going to move it right behind this high liquidity at 18. Okay, and then I'm looking for these. Maybe we can get back up into the we had some buying pressure in here. We know that. So we're looking for moving back up into maybe up into this zone up here. Okay, so let's move our take profit to there. Okay, or in front of this high liquidity here. We can see some starting to come in right there at 23.5. Yeah, the Execution Pro is excellent, Hector. You'll get Dome Pro, Execution Pro. You got to have the Bookmap Global Plus for that. You don't have to use it in combination with Dome Pro, but yeah, it was kind of developed that way, Alois. No, they're two separate products. Guys, there are multiple reasons why. Look, I don't think, in my mind, I would not have taken this trade, but I just wanted to demo, starting to look at some of this information here and align it. And you can see it's still like, I think it's going to be a loss here, but it's holding its own though. There's something to this here, and we did this by very quickly, like kind of back testing it here. Okay, we have high liquidity, we have a stop run. We see the buyers coming up through this area here, and we had our pace of tape and balance. Okay, but I don't like it at all. This is making me uncomfortable. I see heavy selling in here. We see a pullback. I don't see a lot of buyers yet, and again I see heavy selling again, and another stop run here. Well, yeah, maybe we can get back up and get buyers in here. And if so, heck, maybe we should even bring our take profit up a little bit, top of the range here, okay, based off of that. In fact, you can see some divergence in here, just a little bit. The market pulse pace of tape went down more in here. You can see the heavy selling than over here. And now it did go lower, looks like. Did it? Maybe it went a little bit lower. Yeah, it did. But this went, quite a bit lower, right? That's due to all this heavy selling and momentum in here. Okay, this is a great momentum indicator as well. Start to use it that way with your pace of tape. Volume, pressure, and balance, very similar. All right, well, price is struggling to get back up above this range here, as you guys can see at 22. There we go. There's some buying. Okay, so let's see if these buyers can now lift it a little higher, back up into this cluster up here. And in fact, I'm going to bring this back to a volume profile here. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, we can continue on looking and going back through our some of these examples in here. Extreme readings. Here not so good. Okay. I mean, this is that momentum though, and this is that pace of tape. It definitely is correct. It's just not really at an edge of the range. We do see some high liquidity, and we do see a stop run though too. Okay. So and we also see a really nice one here. Here's our pace of tape. Down below here, there's a stop run in here as well, and then they'll move right back up. Okay. What about up here? Nope, I don't see one on the market pulse pace of tape imbalance up here. No, nothing here either. So mostly on the sell side here. That little bit of buying is only in here. Also here and here. Okay, I'm looking for another one right now. Okay, I'm looking for that tape to pick up right now. Okay, and let's see if we can get our stop run up into right into our target and maybe above. We might even be able to move our target higher here. And let's do it. Let's move it up to this 26 liquidity up here. Okay, and does that relate to anything? Yeah, it does. It relates back up to here. Okay, that's a little too lofty, but we'll go with it. Anyway, see how this can help you at the extremes at least. We kind of waited in here. We got our, waited here. We did not wait, and we got stopped out. Here we waited, and we just got a worse fill or price level here, and it went against us. But now it's going for us. But this is the trade-off here, clearly, right? If you wait, then that's it. Now it's up to you. You'll have to do the back testing and be okay with that. Part of the back testing would be to see like how far it goes against you. Like here, if we'd just been maybe just another few ticks above, we would have had a winning trade out of that, or it would have come back down. Well, we probably would have gotten out down here, probably. Right, and here's what we were looking for earlier, and you can hear it on YouTube. I don't think you guys can hear it in Discord, but there's extreme reading right there. Right now, you know what? Maybe we'll flatten that because we just got an extreme reading. So we went from extreme here, and we had another one here, to extreme here. Okay, I don't know. That's up to you to decide like how you want to manage it. As you can see, like there's still more buying coming in. Maybe you gotta wait until this would have been a better exit just up into here, because you've got high liquidity, bigger stop run, and also another market pulse event. Okay, so this probably would have been better. What's the difference between the order book pressure imbalance and the order book indicator? Okay, order book indicator. This is an imbalance indicator up here. It's an old one. We've had it for quite a while, and it is based off of your chart range in here, and you can see the center line is right here. So, and then you can see it also percentage. So if there's more red in here, you'll see a negative value. If there's more green, there'll be a positive value. So now if I zoom in, it's going to be should be red. Nope. Oh, okay. Yeah, it must be this liquidity down here. The liquidity that is closer to the best bid and offer is weighted a little more heavily, right? So it's reading off of this here and giving that imbalance indication. You can see it fluctuates. I mean, because we're kind of zoomed in here. All right, well, we have a little system here, as you guys can see, that would have been a little bit better to wait and then get out here. Now, this is not what we usually teach in the Bookmap education, but I just wanted to go through it of using some of these tools and putting that context together. Okay, that your trading plan does not have to be really advanced. In fact, it's better if it's not. What's best is if it works for you. You've done the due diligence. Okay, so we got John 412 in here. So great trader, part of the Bookmap Academy, and he's got a very simple trading strategy. Now he shows in his checklist. In fact, God, I should just bring it up. In his checklist, he's got like I got to bring it up. It's just really good, John. Sorry, sorry to call you out. It's just really good stuff. So find it here. Go to the Bookmap Academy room. I'll go over here. We'll go to the Bookmap Academy room. Right here. Okay. And then here's one right here. Great. All right, let's open it up in the browser. Let's see what it looks like. What we got? Okay. See, this is a model here. Now here's his key. This is not necessarily his checklist for his setup, but he's showing what each number is in here. But it might be part of his checklist. It looks kind of like it, but he's annotating these things in here. Okay, these order flow elements, his targets, etc. And he's looking for something very specific here, like his top of the annotations here is he's looking for options information. Okay, and if he gets that, okay, I'm not sure exactly where you're getting this. One shows negative. See the hero chart. Okay, so you've got that on a separate chart. Okay. Well, anyway, he's looking at his higher levels typically of high liquidity along with an options level, and then he's getting in. It's pretty straightforward in that sense. Now, obviously, look, he's got 11 points in here. But the trading plan is pretty straightforward. He's looking for that volume to come back in on the buy side in here, or you can see he took the short here actually, and first target, bottom of the range, pays himself. Okay, part of his way of trading, because you don't know if it's going to bounce at the bottom of the range in here. So this is the way that he manages his money, and then he looks for the next level below here and in front of high liquidity in here, and traded into it, and he's out. Okay. Anyway, I know John has his very it's not as simple as it looks. It is pretty straightforward, but you've got to become an expert in it. Okay, so that's the key, right? And then you know what you're doing. Okay? And we're just going through this process in here and showing a very simple process. There hasn't been really much trade management. It's more like we're just entering on a signal or this confluence of events and then exiting on the same. Yeah, this was a loss from actually last night. Just kept on grinding against me, but anyway, I mean, I haven't been trading this one very long. You can see my Rhythmic account here. Just it starts at 0 in the paper trading, and we're up to like about 13,000, and had a pretty big hit last night. I'm not an expert at the overnight. The overnight just keeps going. You don't get these back and forth moves in here. You can reach out to Moby. He's a coach at the Bookmap Academy, and he trades the Asian session or extended hours. All right, let's add some other things in here. I wanted to take a look at some of these new. Let's look at MACD. What the heck? Why not? All right, it's loading here. And we'll take off our pace of tape and balance for the moment. I can't remember the last time I looked at MACD. As you guys know, like we've been for the last a couple of weeks, we've been talking and covering very, very simple areas of liquidity, and then understanding what might happen at those levels. We typically look for either a slowdown or a bounce away from it, or even a potential reversal. And this one here, for example, it traded right through it, and then it kept on. It retested up here a bunch of times, and then we got our deeper pullback here. Here traded high liquidity, pullback. Here high liquidity, another level here. Here's some exhaustion. Okay, so you can look at some of those things as well, and then also justify, like, okay, if that's the case, then I'm going to trade it down to this liquidity here, right? So now again, this is just understanding, and it's again not a trading strategy, but this is what we're looking for. Okay, if just like we see the sellers, we had some exhaustion in here, and now the bid is actually showing some strength here. So now it's kind of going against us. We got in at the bottom of the range, just looking for a couple of ticks. Okay, so we got our MACD here as well. Okay, we got some divergence in that MACD. All right, you can see. Okay, so in fact, they're starting to pull that liquidity here. So maybe we can go down. I was just trying to move it, down to the next level here. Anyway, we're filled on that one. And let's look at maybe MACD along with our pace of tape imbalance. Did we get anything more from that? Back to our chat room here. Okay. Yeah, I have a question for you guys. See, oh, Dan, maybe you can help me out here. I'll do it over in YouTube, but I think you've got a quick way of showing a poll in here. So if you can put together a poll in Discord, are you guys distracted by seeing trades? Okay, because I got some feedback in one of the YouTube videos that uh, someone was saying that they did not want to see trading activity. Oh, thanks. There you go. Okay, so vote 1 or 2, guys. Wow, that was great. Thanks, Dan. Um, and YouTube. Is it? Okay. Okay. Melvin, you want to see trades? Okay. Well, let's put in a poll here. Have access to put in a poll? Really? Yeah, I cannot. I cannot. Okay. So guys over in YouTube, you'll just have to let me know, like Melvin. Look, you know, one of the most important things that we're trying to cover in here in this particular webinar is trying to understand how to build an edge. Okay, trading, and we're doing it kind of on the fly here. But there's so many different ways to trade. It's up to you. Like here, you know, we got another market pulse event, stop run. Do we have high liquidity though? No, don't. Okay, I'm going to stay away from it then. That's not what I'm looking for. Okay, it's got to trade into that high liquidity. Okay, so maybe it's got to come down to this level here, around 18 or 17 and a half or so. Okay, so we're still getting our market pulse. Pace of tape. Also bring up our, let's take a look at our bigger picture here, what's happening. All right, so you can see it's been pretty choppy, guys, just up to the top of these ranges, bottom of these ranges, and just wicks on both sides here. So probably waiting until 2 p.m. for more insight from the Fed. Yeah, Nick, I agree. Yeah, I think the market's just kind of chopping around waiting for FOMC. Hey, I mean, you know, in environments like that, like you got to be kind of careful, but like it can be really good range bound trading as well. You have to be, you know, I don't know. I always look for the directional trend move and try to hop on and ride it, but on days like today, like that's not going to happen. It could, if the market is anticipating something from the Fed, and it'll start to play out. However, you know, this could be a good way to just rack up some scalps back and forth, and then wait for that more directional trade. All right, we were going to wait down until about this 18 level or so. Well, it came back down into about 19, and this liquidity here, we did get market pulse, we did have stop runs, but I don't think too much about it really. It is going back up. Yeah, here's the widget, and you can reach out again to beta@bookmap.com. Here's the Market Pulse web widget here, and look at this. I can look at live data for Nvidia, Tesla, Microsoft. We've got Bitcoin. I've got an index here for the tech sector. There's a whole bunch of different things in here that you can add in. Okay, so yeah, here you got pace of tape here. This pace of tape is not the imbalance. You can see it's buyers and sellers, so you can see a lot's going on right now in Nvidia. A lot, right? Tesla is pretty quiet. Microsoft's starting to pick up a little bit. Okay, but Nvidia is definitely on the positive side. Well, negative too, but like there's more buyers and sellers, it looks like. Okay, now Microsoft's starting to hit. And again, this is pace of tape, right? So we're reading the tape here. If you're a stock trader, you're level 2, you just see this numbers just flashing by and flashing by. That's what you'd be looking at. Okay, so let's see then. Like here we've got the opposite in the S&P, right? So now I'm actually looking, because of that pace of tape confluence. Let's see if we can get maybe a bit of a bounce out of this here. Okay, so maybe we got to trade down to our high liquidity though. Our checklist is high liquidity, stop run, and market pulse. Guys, there's another way of doing this too. Like you can trade down to it, right? Here, we'll just do that. So I'm looking for it to trade down to it, and then in fact I will reverse here. Oh, I cannot. Okay, I'll place another limit buy here. All right. So in this case, we're looking for that momentum. We're anticipating the momentum here to pull us into that high liquidity. Okay. Now, one of the reasons that this is just another way to read it potentially, and use this tool, was look at the buy side here. I mean, in this move here, in this time frame, it's mostly selling. So we're seeing the extreme readings to the downside here. We're not getting any extreme readings on the upside here whatsoever. So, and this is our 1, 2, 3, 4 attempt down here. So I'd be looking for the the move into the high liquidity here. Okay, and trade it back down to it. Now this is we just changed our strategy though. Okay, this is another strategy to take a look at, and you can see it's not working too well right now. And let's see if we get it though. All right, so again, look at the market pulse pace of tape, top of the range. This is as high as it went. All right, so are we looking for those sellers, and we're looking for more extreme to the downside? Yeah, I still am. We just traded to the top of the range here. Okay, now we're getting an extreme reading. I can hear it. Okay, so we're going to get stopped out. And almost. I'm sure we're going to get stopped out. Come on. Okay, we had extreme reading here and here. There we go. Okay, now we're stopped out. All right. That's fine. Well, we diverted from what we were doing earlier, but we didn't. This is the error here. Was we didn't go and back test that one. We had the trade idea, but we didn't back test it. Not even for today did we back test it. All right, so let's go and back test it here. All right, so we're looking for the momentum up into high liquidity and a stop run and an extreme reading. Okay, now we've had our extreme reading. Now we're trading into it here, and we're getting our extreme reading again. And we have a little bit of a stop run here. Okay, well, let's go back and look at the momentum again. A momentum move from, let's see, up into high liquidity. Okay, and yeah, this one here, it's the momentum starting to trade right up in here though at the top of the range, so this is no good. We want to target the high liquidity, right? So this is not bad here, in fact. So look how we're not getting much reading here on the buy side. Okay, we did over here. We saw this one, but and we got one dip here on the sell side here, and that's it. Here's just, it's junk. We're not getting anything here. Well, it's really back and forth in here, so we're not getting too much of momentum of a momentum reading in here. So this isn't bad here over here. Why? Because we see that there's more sell side. Okay, more sell side. Here's our pullback. Still more sell side pullback here. And then here's our extreme. Okay, and yeah, no, that wouldn't have worked. All right, so maybe this is not a good strategy then. In here, yeah, I would not be looking for the momentum up into this. All right, so we won't do that one. All right, so here we go, high liquidity. okay, that we just traded. A bit of a stop run, not a whole big huge stop run here. In fact, there's stops to the downside here. And we did get our extreme readings here in market pulse, and we did have high liquidity. We didn't have great stop run though. All right, any more questions over here? Still confused, David? What do you confuse? Would it be helpful to context? No, okay, maybe I shouldn't jump from around in different strategies. Okay, we'll just go through it very, very cleanly and clearly again. The Market Pulse widget is available on the Bookmap marketplace, or is part of the MBO bundle subscription. It's included. Okay, or you can get it on the Bookmap marketplace. You can go to just bookmap.com and you'll find a link in there under the more button for the marketplace. Okay, all right, let's go through it, David, very, very simply. This is liquidity up here. It is in the order book here. You can see 212. Let's just zoom in a little bit more. 222, 209, 167 contracts. Okay, 128 up here, or you can see it was 221 earlier, just a little bit earlier. These are limit sell orders. Okay, now the back and forth in here is just the price structure. Now the limit buy orders are down here on the bid, okay? And you can see it in here. At this 18 level, 125, 112, etc. So now what we're looking for is sellers to hit into these buyers in here. And we also want to see an extreme reading from this market pulse pace of tape imbalance. So what this is doing is basically the same as looking at your time and sales. And you would just see what we're looking for in this scenario would be a lot of selling, and so a lot of red flowing through here rather quickly. Okay, well, we don't need to look at time and sales because we got something a little bit better, in my opinion, is being able to understand the a certain time set and then a measurement within that specific time set here. Okay, so and if it hits an extreme, these little white lines, that's 70%, and then we'll get an extreme reading here in the subchart. Okay, so we're looking for price to trade back down into those areas with a lot of selling into high liquidity. We're looking for a stop run here, okay, 120, 133. And then we're also looking for a little bit of buying to come in to start to turn it around. Right, and then what we're doing is going back, and you can see some of the positions we took. This one was trying to trade momentum into this area, so we're going to just not look at that one here. That's the confusing part, I think. You watch the 4-hour course, okay, so you understand what you're looking at then. That's great. Okay, so parts 1 through 4, each part's an hour long. All right, so now what we're doing is we're kind of quickly back testing a potential strategy, and we are taking live positions in here. However, it's just to demo it, and we're working on building that edge, okay, with just these few ideas in here. Okay, and then we're wrapping some trade management around that as well. Okay, so this would have been, yeah, this would have been a setup here. Now, this is where we got stopped out. The high liquidity trades into it. Okay, these buyers met the sellers here. We had a stop run, but we noted that the stop run was not that heavy. We're looking for more than that. And then we're looking for sellers start to come in, and they do in here. Okay, and price did go lower, but it didn't really do much. Okay, so this is kind of not really reaching our criteria very well. Okay, it's got some elements of it. It's got high liquidity that transacted, and we had an extreme reading in market pulse. But we didn't have the big stop run here, and that's about it, really. But yeah, it's just and not a whole lot of selling starting to come in either. So this is moving to the upside. This is starting to trend to the upside, and this is more of the momentum move, actually. And now, would you get in here though on the momentum? No. And in fact, we're just not gonna cover it. Let's just stick with this hitting the level and then getting the reversal. Oh, thanks, guys. All right, so we got a pretty good sampling for our. Are you distracted by seeing trades? Okay, well, I forgot who it was who had said don't trade. Well, everyone else is telling us that they would rather see us trade. And again, guys, it's to demonstrate how to jump in with a trade and how to manage it, but also looking for reading the order flow in here, and then looking for something that that we tested and back tested very, very briefly in here that gives us an edge. Because if you're not trading with an edge, you shouldn't be trading. Okay, and in fact, we learned that lesson right here. And this is a big loss for what we've been trading today, at least. Okay, so here's market pulse. Some selling starting to come in. Okay, high liquidity. Did it trade? Some of it did, some of it didn't. And not much of a big stop run either. Just not bad. I mean, there's 3 of them there. That's not bad. Okay, we're a little late to this one, but yeah, I think we're going to trade based off of that. I'm looking for the trade down to this 25 liquidity here. And now this is back to highs of the day here. Let's look at our bigger picture now. All right, so here we have highs of the day here on our 15-minute chart. Just kind of breached above it here. Okay, and now we're starting to pull back a little bit. Okay, our 60.25 is just transacting now. Okay, I did hear a little bit of an extreme here in market pulse, but I have no stop run either. So not convincing enough. Does that help, David? Anyway, we'll go through more. Actually, we're off on Thursday and Friday. No Bookmap Academy meeting due to the Thanksgiving holiday here in the US. Markets are closed as well. Yeah, we'll wrap it up. We'll call it a week here, at least from the All Markets webinar. But I want to leave you guys again with that. If you're interested in the year-end deals, all right? So let me put the link back into the chat for you. Okay, yeah, glad it helped. David, probably one of the best things to do if you're, it sounds like you've already done some of your homework here. So I would suggest coming into that Bookmap Academy in Discord and start to ask some questions in there. See if get some help from some others, some insights from others. It's a great community. So come to these webinars, ask questions like you're doing, and we'll go through it. And then start to make some of your own content, and we'll cover it in the Bookmap Academy meetings. All right. All right, guys. Let's wrap it up here. BMX. Okay, thank you. And Shark, we'll continue on doing it then, and we'll continue to trade. Hector, the important part here is to go back and do this due diligence. Make sure that you're trading with some sort of edge. If you're not, you are gambling. Now, this is not much of an edge that we have gone through in. Oh, I even have an open order here. Hold on. There's not much of an edge I've shown in here. I just did it ad hoc. Going through maybe 5, 6, 7 examples. But we started to see some things pan out. Okay, so we're on to something. It requires more due diligence, more back testing. Look into the details here. How do you want to enter? How do you want to manage the stop, etc.? This is the direction to go. So use the heat map, use the context with the volume, and then use you can lean on some of these things like market pulse or stops and icebergs, or other indicators, or you can just look at the order flow in the context as well. Okay? So we haven't gone through too many in icebergs that do lead. That's a good question. Well, why not? Well, we can look for icebergs as well along with stops. Now, icebergs is kind of like looking at that high liquidity in here. Okay, so like, for example, up in here, how many contracts is this? Okay, 156, right? Well, it trades up into it, and some of it trades, but some of it pulls. Then we have a 100 lot, 15, and a 25 lot here on the with icebergs. Okay, and we have a stop run. Okay, so that maybe, and do we have an extreme reading? Actually, you get the extreme reading down below and not up here. So maybe that's enough to justify a short or a move back down into the liquidity down here around 25. Okay, that's what we were looking for earlier, in fact. Yep. So you can use the, again, just make sure that you're consistent, though, what you're looking for. And start to put it together. I would suggest putting it into first off, you can use the checklist here. We have this, you can put it into an Excel file, and you can actually add it into the Bookmap app in here. Setups checklist. Yeah, right here. Okay. And yeah, this is by default, it's showing one for a flag continuation pattern. And you can grade it, and then that can justify the trade. All right, but yeah, put it into a checklist, but then go back and back test it. And then I would, plug the numbers into Excel. Okay, did it work? How many points did it work for? Etc. And then you're going to refine that over time. And really, once you start to have about at least 20 different instances of it, which you can do this afternoon, you could have a viable trading plan, at least to start, right? At least to get started. I wouldn't recommend, if you forward test it, I would recommend doing it in sim until you get a better feel for it. It might take some weeks to get a real good feel for it. And then by that time, maybe you have like 100 different examples, at least 50, and that you've studied. So you know exactly what you're looking for. Okay, and then use replay mode as well. You can record this data, use replay mode, and play it again. Go back and study it, play it again. Trade it, go back and study it, play it forward, trade it again, get a feel for it. If you do that, you're going to become much better at it much more quickly. And that'll help you. That'll help you a lot. Okay. And then once you get a good feel for it, you're starting to show, the numbers are starting to show well. You can trade it using the the trading journal, and you can study it. This I'll explain this another day. Yeah, I had some account issues in here. But some really weird things happen. We worked so hard to get this kind of beautiful curve, and then it just got annihilated. We made some of it back, but which is also erroneous as well. Anyway, go back and take a look at some of your trading activity and start to look at some of the numbers in here and the metrics. This will help you. And this will give you some insight of how you're doing, how's it working. You're checking in. It's kind of like a doctor. You're checking in here and seeing how's it going. And you can just use that in replay mode. You can create your own journal in here, and call it replay or something like that. And you can move all of those trades from replay mode into that journal. Okay, that'll help a lot. And then come to the Bookmap Academy, start going through it, and you guys are good to go. Thanks for coming, everybody. Let's wrap it up. We'll call it a day. Reach out to beta@bookmap.com if you want access to some of these tools. They're free. And better yet, why don't you partake in the Black Friday if you don't have Bookmap. There's data on our website, and just go to the website and you'll see all the different plans, etc. All right, so in a couple more days you'll know a lot more for the Black Friday deal, and take it from there. Okay, have a great Thanksgiving, everybody, and we'll see you the following week.